Okay, ladies and gentlemen, Sicko Nation. We got a little bit of information today on Joel Embiid and what his return is looking like, or how on track he is on the timeline. Ramona Shelburne today said something on NBA Today. Okay, and I want you to know it's not as bad as it sounds. All right, it's not as bad as it sounds. Here's what she said. Okay. She said, well, Joel Embiid is not anywhere close right now to coming back, but he is able to get on the court, do some light work. So there's an update. That's the first time we've heard that Joel Embiid is on the court doing light work. Now, it's only March 12th, okay? I know you don't like to hear Joel is not anywhere close right now to coming back, but keep in mind, it's only March 12th. She said he is able to get on the court, do some light work. The hope that they have in Philly is that they can just stay in the mix for Joel Embiid to come back the last week or so of the season, and at least where he has a chance to get back some conditioning before the playoffs. I know that sounds bad, but when you really think about it, that's what they've been saying basically all along, is that the hope is to get Joel Embiid back with a little bit of time before the playoffs, so that they could try to get him, into basketball shape or get some of the rust off or whatever, and try to get him up to speed to play in the playoffs. Obviously, he has to be 100% before any of this happens, right? You don't even make this decision if he's not 100%. But if he's 100% and he can play at a high level without pain, then you say, okay, let's get him on the court. And let's bring him back the last week or so of the season, or maybe a minutes restriction or whatever, and try to get him in conditioning shape to participate in the playoffs. Philly Sixers Galaxy then tweets and says, Shams reported in February that Joel Embiid would most likely be out 6 to 8 weeks. We're at exactly the 5-week point of Embiid's procedure. You know what I'm saying? That 6 to 8 week mark sounded unrealistic to us when we heard them say it. We were like, that ain't going to happen. There's no way he's having this surgery and he's coming back in 8 weeks. So we're only at the 5-week mark right now. We're at exactly the 5-week point of Embiid's procedure. Date of surgery, February 6th. Today is March 12th. 6 weeks out would be March 19th. If he would return on March 19th, that would be the best case scenario. From the jump, it would have been the best case scenario at 6 weeks. Okay, 7 weeks, March 26th. 8 weeks out, April 2nd. Some more notable dates. Final regular season game, April 14th. Start of play-in tournament, April 16th, 19th. Start of the playoffs, April 20th. So according to it seems like everything's going fine, right? You're at 5 weeks. You want him to hopefully come back in 8 weeks. 8 weeks is April 2nd. The final regular season game is April 14th. So I say he's on track. I say this is nothing to fear. I know that people are seeing that first line, Joel is nowhere near coming back, and they're freaking out. I don't think that's what Ramona Shelburne meant by this, and I don't think there's a reason to freak out about it. Going off of Ramona's suggestion that Joel Embiid might return the last week of the season, here's a potential timeline of how that might look. The Sixers will play 4 games between April 7th and April 14th. That's hopefully he comes back around April 2nd-ish. So he could possibly compete in these 4 games to try to ramp up and get some conditioning before the playoffs. San Antonio, Detroit, Orlando, and Brooklyn. I mean, you couldn't write it any better than that, right? At least it's not the Knicks. At least it's not the Celtics. At least it's not a top-tier NBA team full of defenders that are going to play very physical and things like that. I mean, he dropped 70 on Wemby. It feels like the last game that he played was against Wembanyama. I think he played some after that. Well, he hurt himself in the Warriors game. So maybe he comes back and his first game back is against Victor Wembanyama. Again, somebody who does not pose a threat to him physically, and he can jog around, take it easy, try to get some conditioning, and then, Detroit, Orlando, Brooklyn, before the Sixers probably at that point would be getting ready to play in the play-in tournament, as I predicted when this damn thing jumped off. Now, if the Sixers beat the Knicks tonight, they're in a 3-way tie for the 4th seed. I don't know if I would bet on that happening, because they So a lot of things went their way 2 days ago against the Knicks. I wouldn't be shocked if all of those things don't go their way tonight. We will see. We'll be on Playback TV in just a couple of hours, actually, like about an hour and a half. We'll be on Playback TV, so join me. But I just wanted to jump on here real quick and say it's not as bad as it sounds, okay? So everybody calm down. He's right on pace with what they predicted from the beginning when they first announced what they thought the timeline would be. I don't think there's anything to worry about. I think we could realistically look at that 8-week mark and see him coming back then. A lot of people are still convinced that Joel Embiid's not coming back. He's already on the court doing things, so I think he is coming back. Now it's just going to be how good is he going to be when he comes back? Because Joel's a competitor. He's the heart of a lion. You know that. He wants to come back. He wants to compete. He knows his career is not probably going to be the longest, and he wants to try to play when he's able to play, you know? So I expect him to come back, man. Let me know in the comments, do you expect him to come back? Do you expect him to come back in that 8-week mark? And give me the rest of your thoughts. Thanks for tuning in. It's good news. It's good news, okay? I'll see you soon.